Hello, I'm Yuki, and today we are looking for a case for a woman called Margaret. Margaret, 32 years old. Doctors simply stated suffering from general anxiety. She described herself as sensitive and emotional. Margaret said it started about a year ago. She was out shopping one day and she suddenly began to feel anxious, like nervous and panicky. She went away after a few minutes and just kept shopping. About 2 weeks later, the same things happened. There is a physical symptoms this time. She felt her heart beating fast and she thought she was going to pass out. She had this kind of dread and sometimes burst into tears for no reason. After that, she began to be anxious already, even before she went out. She was in the shop and began to feel a bit breathless and nauseous. She held tight on to the trolley, remember thinking that it is so embarrassing. She thought that everybody looking at her and thinking she is so stupid. When she got those thoughts, she got the pain in her chest again. She couldn't keep it all together, so she left the shop again. After 10 minutes, she went back in and finished the shopping. In this case, first, we can see Margaret has a reaction of flight when the anxiety happens in her life. She chose to escape from the situation and also already feel anxious before she go to the same situation. In theology, something happened to a person and it caused them to avoid and enforce it. In this case, the factor of Margaret is direct experience. So she experienced the physical attack before, so she already got anxious before to the same situation. Also, in her conversation, we can see that she got some symptoms not only in the GAD, but also the comorbidity with symptoms of panic disorder. For GAD, she started to feel anxious before she go to shopping and it is already over 6 months. The symptoms of GAD is low concentration and insomnia. However, in this case, Margaret come up with physical symptoms. She felt her heart beating really fast and she thought she's going to pass out. She has this kind of dread and sometimes burst into tears for no reason. Also, she got pain in her chest. So we can see that these symptoms are related on panic disorder. The symptoms are sudden, identifiable. Also, she mentioned that it takes about 10 minutes to the peak and then take times to slow down. So she chose to get out from this shop for 10 minutes. Also, worry of more attacks. So she avoid to go to the same situation and then already being anxious before getting to the same situation. So we can see there are symptoms of not only GAD but also panic disorder. Fortunately, in this case, we can see a positive attitude in Margaret. In this situation, she willing to figure out her problem and facing it, even though she escaped from the situation at first. But she tried to read up on CBT before the counseling and then was hopeful that the causes of fear would sort her out. And also, she is taking the counseling assessment, so it shows a positive attitude for her to facing this disorder. During the panic happens, she tried to use what she learned from the self-help guide on internet. Remember reading about panic attacks and how people think they are going to die, so she told herself it was panic. Even though she failed at first, she became panic again, but it was a positive improvement for her to deal with the panic disorder. So in this case, the best way to solve a problem is to keep exposing their problems, so it can let them know and face. Because if just let them leave, it will reinforce the anxiety. As the therapist mentioned, sometimes avoiding the things that gives you the anxiety makes sense in that moment. However, actually can make it worse in the long term. If she avoid the problem, she never challenge herself to break the pattern. Also, we can use the systematic decision. So let them relaxing and think logically to their problem, except for being in the emotional. So this is the end of my case studies. Thank you for listening.